So this is Thursday, and I'm doing a weekly video, which I know I usually do on Sunday nights, Monday mornings. So I apologize for the delay. I had a really busy week. I'm trying to fit this in as well as I can. Honestly, this will probably be a short video, probably unedited for the most part, since we only got about 3 days left, and it's been a little more chaotic of a week than I want to be. I guess if you're a parent, you'll probably understand that. But anyway, so the key thing here I want to talk about is we've just surpassed the official merge event for Ethereum, and as you can see here, it's a pretty red day. It was pretty much a red day 2 days before this. It was kind of a green day yesterday, but honestly, I think that was kind of in response to the merge. A lot of times when you get these kind of events, they tend to be a little more volatile towards the actual event. And then for the most part, in my experience, most of those events have been like sell the news events, quote unquote. And I hate using that. I hate using that phrase. It's really cliche, but there's a reason for that. And basically, the reason is due to supply and demand. Like once you hear something enough times, that idea gets priced in to the charts. And that phrase priced in is a little bit of a cliche as well. Because I don't want to say priced in as it's actually built into the price, but it's priced in as the fact that nobody really cares anymore. So there's a certain aspect to where market trends over time get used to things. A big popular example, let's switch here. I'm going to stay on Bitcoin just for a second. Let's go on a 5 day. That's a big enough time frame. Right here, and I've mentioned this plenty of times. This was about the time when Elon Musk bought Bitcoin for Tesla, and that was a big like, oh my gosh moment, kind of something like that. And so we got used to it. And you guys probably know with Dogecoin as well. That's a very bad chart now. But there was a time when you know Elon Musk said anything about Dogecoin and it just skyrocketed, and it's lost its effect, right? Same with Bitcoin. So I'll go here, and over time, the market just lost interest. Like, all right, that's boring news, and it's the same thing with the merge. It's the same thing with like Bitcoin having. I think Litecoin had a situation a couple years ago or a year ago. Any of those kind of events, like even projects that go to mainnet or testnet or any kind of thing, it's always a sell the news event. Airdrops, sell the news event. Um, it's just kind of how that is. And the reason being is because any potential supply that would have happened has already happened. And the people that did get in have already been in and they're ready to capitalize on that. So, like, let's say for theoretical example, they got in here and then the news events right here, well, just kind of roughly speaking, they're up 50 whatever percent, right? So who wouldn't sell knowing you get an easy 50, 60%? So that's the concept. That's one reason why a lot of airdrops get sold immediately after they get the tokens, because that's free money for them. That's all it is. I mean, it's not, most of the time it's not like, oh, I can't wait to get this coin and hold it for 2 years. No, the big thing is selling it immediately, cashing out, using that for whatever you want. Uniswap is a very big example of that. Um, Let me kind of detour a little bit even more. I said this is going to be a short video, but I guess we'll see. I always talk longer than I want. Um, and roughly speaking, it does go past this, and the reason I know that is because I was airdrop Uniswap. I was very active in doing reviews for clients for Uniswap, and I pretty much got it. I mean, I remember when it was still cents, um, but I think I sold part of it at maybe like 7. I think I did get lucky actually. One of the few times I sold the wick, and I did well. I don't have my original Uniswap stack anymore. I sold it variously throughout this level here. But as you can see, like from what I remember, a lot of people sold it right here, and then a massive in wave of people, you know, finally got it, which made the supply go up, and then they sold here. And so this is a 5 day chart, by the way. So once people started to realize they could obtain it, you know, there's this big selling wick here. I mean, it took almost 2 months before the selling to stop, and then it probably took 130 days or so just to reclaim that supply again. So that's why people got tons of money, and I know people that got a lot of money from that. I think myself, I only got about $2,000 or $3,000. I think about 25, something like that, 26. And I gave it away because I had somebody that needed some help, and that was free money for me. So I paid my taxes on it, and I just sent it off. So, but you see what I'm saying? Like somebody like me, found a need for somebody else. It was free money for me. I bought them a computer. I did some other things. And a lot of people have that same mindset. Hey, free money, free PlayStation, whatever, right? So that's the mentality of that. So when now you go back to Ethereum and the merge, let's go here. So I mean, the merge roughly happened right around here. I wish I could maybe. It's wrong. I don't know what I'm doing here. All right. I guess the 1 hour is good enough for now. So, actually, let's just go straight to 10 hour or 12 hour. So this was back. It was under $1,000 for a little while. It went up, and probably, I don't want to say it went up because of the merge, but it did go up. We did have a divergence. A lot of those things do go hand in hand anyway. But we had like a psychological resistance here at 2,000. It did kind of make sense with this cluster here. If you go to the top of this cluster to the bottom, so we had a little bit above up deviation, went down. That was your time to sell, 1900. So and a lot of times, a lot of those psychological numbers like 5,000, 1,000, 20,000, like even with 69,000 with Bitcoin, as the meme was, like those are, like I don't like those, I don't at all, but those are psychological numbers that a lot of people do take into consideration. And that's another thing about the merge as well, is a lot of people took that as a sign. It's like, hey, like this is going to be a good thing. And it is a good thing. The merge is a very good thing. It's a very, I've tweeted about this, how monumental of a feat that was to have no downtime for that transition to proof of stake. The problem is that it's not some magical thing that's going to make Ethereum go to $10,000, right? So, like, I don't really know what people were trying to expect. And that's no offense to anybody at all. I mean, granted, I've been here since 2017. Starting to get, I guess, a little on the older side as far as being here for a while. But one thing I've noticed is almost all these events, almost every single one of them, have either been like local top events or liquidity events that end up retracing back to that spot. And that's what I said about Bitcoin. Going back to that 5 day. This was when Elon started. It was right below 40,000. I think it might be right here. I think that's when he announced it. This is the candle that went up. I don't think it's the entirety of this candle, but this was probably. I'm pretty sure that's the candle that went up. If not, it was like right here. So when something shoots up that high, it needs to retest. I can't express that enough. I express it so much in my Twitter, my Telegram, everything. Like, these things need to retest to verify whether they are good support or a good enough supply. Because once these people get to here, they're going to sell. And guess what? It sold. And it actually sold worse. And it went up again to retest. We had a divergence on the 2 week. Went down. Impulse down. So now we got a consolidation here. We might sell even more. So kind of do a quick TA on this. This is the area that I'm looking at right here. We had an impulse above here. Technically, that is a breaker. You can't really see it on this low of a time frame. But the origin of the impulse, 19,400, is where we should retest, which we did. We held this, and then we broke below it, and then we deviated back up. So I know this looks a little sketch right now. This looks like it might go down a lot lower. But right now, this is a valid support for me because it deviated up. And once it deviates up, I need to maintain that position. Like if we get a new low, okay, that's good. And so the mindset on this is that, this is worth a long for now. I mean, this isn't accurate, but I'm saying something like this has a very low risk to me because we're already at the bottom. Like once you get down to below here, I mean, a lot of people long this, including me. I was new at the time. A lot of people long this because it looked like it was bottoming out, right? And it didn't. The problem is that nobody wanted to long this. And guess what? Went up. So people tried to long this because they got the wick. They went ahead and longed this because it was a lower low and it pumped up higher. We deviated back below. A lot of people long this, long this. So 1, 2, 3, let's say four big tries. And let's say you risk 3% on each one, which is already pretty high, or let's say even 5% risk, which is really high. Like most people don't do 5% risk. That's a total of 20% that you would have lost on your portfolio. And guess what? Most of you probably have lost 20% already, right? So, or I shouldn't say you guys, maybe just people in general have lost more than 20%. But no, a lot of people didn't long this. And you can tell because the supply was low. Actually, no, there was an impulse right here. So this is Binance too, so this may be different. But market interest did get in, so I guess I'm wrong on that. But we did have a divergence here on the 5-day. As you can see right here, I'm not going to mark it, but that's the thing. And we also have a divergence here, so that's one reason I'm also looking into it. And I'm pretty headstrong about that. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, it's fine. Because look, if I was wrong here, 1, here 2, here 3, here 4. So I was wrong. If I was wrong 4 times at 5%, I lost 20%, which is still less than the average person. If I longed here, I would have made my money back. So that's a very risky example. That's a lot of that's theoretical. So don't just start longing everything. But the psychological mindset is that we try here, try here, try here, try here, try here. And this goes back even further on the Coinbase one. But we keep trying, and then we drop, and then we give up. Like I gave up here. Honestly, I did. I stopped trading, and then I got back in right around here. Like fortunately, I left everything in Bitcoin. And I just said, screw it. I'm not going to trade. I'm going to give up. And then I noticed it doubled. So I got back in the game. So, but a lot of people gave up here. A lot of people. Like, literally, a lot of your big influencers now, I'm not even 10,000 followers. A lot of people now are 200,000 followers. At the time, they were as low as me. They were less than 10,000. Sometimes even 3,000 or 4,000. All of us, thought that the game was over. We did. And it wasn't. So anyway, so that's that. So as far as we'll cover it, we'll go back to Ethereum. I know I'm switching back and forth, but so we had kind of an expectation to the merge. It kind of did its little thing. A highly volatile area. I stayed away from it, and it was a good play for me. I didn't know what necessarily to expect. I just made the assumption that it was a sell. It was an event. Like I said, like these events, like the supplies are already priced in, right? And then if you get a fork token, well, what are you going to do? You're going to sell it. That's just the whole thing. So I've already mentioned that. Fortunately, I was on the right side of that. But I had no expectation going in, and I didn't have any. Didn't want to take the risk. So, and that's a lot of things. One thing that you should know, about trading, I mean, making money, you can make money by taking the attitude that um, a risk doesn't need to happen. See what I'm saying? Like, take the lowest amount of calculated risk as possible. Like, you always need to take a risk. That's the point of trading. But make sure you take the safest avenue. And, not every play is going to be a home run. But I can tell you the more haphazard you get with how you trade, the more you're going to lose. And not just necessary losses in trades, but you're going to get more emotional. You're going to get addicted. You're going to keep pressing that buy button or sell button or that 100x button. Keep rules in place. If you lose so many, stop trading for a day or two, or only use so much for leverage. That's what leverage is for. The leverage is not to 100x your whole portfolio. It's to take 10% of your portfolio and 10x that or something like that. It's to parse out your portfolio so you don't have to have it all on risk. But people do the opposite. They take, let's say $1,000 lack of for easy math, and then they leverage it to $100,000. Well, that's not the point of that. Like if you have, $10,000, let's say you have $100,000, let's say you use 10 of that and leverage it to 10x, so then you get the 100,000 out of that 10,000. And then if you lost it, it's only 10,000. That's the point of it. But a lot of these exchanges know that a lot of people don't do that. So anyway, so actually going back to the analysis of this, so we dropped. We kind of went up a little bit, but we're not really doing so good. We got, 5 hours till close. On the daily, I want to see this recover. I've had this marked out. This has to recover. If it doesn't, it's an easy short. Let's say, I would probably do something like this, and I would probably target the lows, because you typically don't want to do that. You don't want to deviate from this line. Things that I do notice is this impulse here. I think we kind of retested that, I guess. But there's another one here. And so I have a feeling that we're going to go to 1242. I've mentioned on Twitter that we can probably go to 1250. I still kind of believe that. I'm out of all my Ethereum positions. Let's see. I think I just saw something. Does this trend? Not really, but so anyway, one thing that I'm wanting to look out for is the A-Rune just went bearish, so I'm out. Once this turns blue, I'm willing to come back in. And look, I've been break even here, and I got a little bit of profit there. Probably close to break even because I think I didn't get the best entry. But it's one of those things you keep trying. It's not, you're not going to win every trade. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that this is pretty or anything. It's a lot. This is a very boring, frustrating, troublesome part of the market, and this is where people give up. This is where winners can become losers and losers become winners. It's a shift of exchange of people in the market. And I'm not saying you should do anything right now. Like, I'm playing it cool. I'm accumulating Bitcoin. I'm trying to make sure my Bitcoin value is 150% high, or no, 300% higher than what it was at 65. And I believe that I have achieved that. I'd have to look. But this is survival mode, and one thing you need to do is keep track of all this. So we got 1440 right now. Let's say worst case scenario, we go down to 400. So you got like $1,000 spread, right? So spread major bids within this $1,000 range. Let's just mark it out right here. All right. So then one thing you want to mark out probably, just playing this out right here, is probably, probably right up here. $1,000 mark. Put another one here. And then put another one here. So now you got 1, 2, 3, 4 bids. 4 major bids you can do on the way. If you have excess capital, that's a good way to do things. Even better way to do it would be like a Fibonacci. Start here at the current price action and go down there. I usually mark it out. Anyway, you get the idea. But something like that, that's not the best thing. You get the idea. Layer the bids in like a Fibonacci style. So I don't want to mess up my order block stuff. So that's kind of how that is. So as far as daily is concerned, needs to reclaim. I mean, we got plenty of time. We got 5 hours to move up maybe a few percentage points. Yeah, maybe 5 or 6. Yeah, so that might be a little tough, but we'll see. But I think this probably will go lower to 1,200. Switching to Bitcoin, retesting the low. I have an entry at 19,300, so I'm getting a little closer to break even. We had this impulse right here. Like I said, origin of the impulse. We should go down to 19,270, probably 19,200. Not exactly something I want to do, but that's what the chart says. So I'm probably going to go a little underwater on my position, but my Bitcoin position is the only position that I have, and it's one that's kind of like a do or die. Like, I'm willing to keep buying this until it just goes down to zero, honestly. So, and with that in mind, this is some really crazy price action, so I'm pretty sure this is going to go down here. I don't see why it wouldn't, especially now that it's so close. Like I said, 3-day looks a little better. We did get the divergence on the 5-day. But there's no promises on that. It would be, honestly, it would be very unfortunate if we did make a no or low on this divergence. So we'll see. I starting to think a lot of the selling pressure is kind of unnecessary, but that's what the chart says. We're going to look back and realize how, just like this, like you look back at this and it's like, how could you be an idiot and long this? Like every single person I remember long this, there is very few people shorting this. I'd say maybe 10-15% at the most. Nobody was even touching this. I remember one person said that they did close a position from way up here down there, and I don't remember who that was, but yeah, that's just how the market works. And I don't know, maybe there's too much market interest right now, but this candle right here is not good. We still got 2 days for that to go, though. So we'll see. Like I said, touched 1900. I am not going short on this. I'm taking pretty much the same approach as I said on Ethereum. I'm going to layer bids. I'm going to buy in. I think I said before I'm going to buy in maybe like 17.4, 17.6. Probably buy in again at 15. I think I said I was going to buy in at 13 as well. There's a tweet that I mentioned that, but basically every $2,000 or $3,000 until 12,000 is my plan. So, and I'm going to buy more as I go lower. As far as everything else, I mean, there's really not a lot to say, but I'll briefly cover some of these things. This rejection here is not good on Solana. See, top of the range, bottom. Yeah, so we rejected here. So top of this wick, and then bottom of this wick to kind of get a range. We rejected going below. So that's pretty valid. I had something here, but it's not gonna. It's kind of junk right now, but so coming up through here through this Aaron line back down is not good as well. So I'm expecting this to probably go back down to 27, to be honest. 30, 27. This, I mean, come on, it's like $3 anyway, so I'm not exactly a profit there. Um, I like 5 days. Let's see. I mean, we're still heading below. I mean, yeah, we got 2 days left, but threatening that, engulfing. Not good. I mean, we got this bullish Abram consolidation. We got the AO going up high, so maybe not, maybe not. A lot of things can happen in 2 days, and we got the weekend coming up, so anything can happen. But it's been a disappointing week so far. Go to AVAX. I've got this. Got all this chicken scratch notes on here. I got this blue box out here marked for a reason. I can't see why we wouldn't retest back to 14. I see here's a lot of these things. You're going to see all this doom and gloom, right? But a lot of this is opportunity. Imagine, I remember I was part of a deal working with a project for Solana, and we were paid in Solana. And this wasn't a trading thing. This was something I worked at for a client of mine for my business. And I don't want to get into details because I really can't. But they gave us, when they paid us right around this range. And because I remember it being right about 140, it went to 150, and I was like, oh, I just made whatever percent. I'm thinking about keeping it, and I decided not to. I think I sold maybe like 75%, and it worked out, And imagine, I think I sold the rest for a little bit of a loss, but imagine if, let's just say I sold at the bottom of this, I would have lost 75% of my money. And so again, that's for client things it's different. If I'm getting paid in currency, I'm probably going to sell it to USDC or USDT, honestly, some stable coin. That's just the MO. Taxes, I do pay my taxes and things like that. So like, it just gets too complicated. And then if I want, especially for record keeping as well, and if I want to enter it in back, I just buy it back. It's easier. It's not the most efficient, but it is the easiest long term to deal with. But imagine, I say all that because imagine getting the opportunity to buy at $30 again. See what I'm saying? So, and it's not exactly, if we go back to all time high, it's a 700% percentage, right? So imagine if you were paid, let's say $1,000, $1,000, let's say. So you're making at least $6,000 to $7,000 on that for every 1,000 you put in. And if you would have done that here, you would have lost 75% of your stack. So that's how I look at it. Like, some of these alts won't go back to all time high. I think I was a big Litecoin fan, and honestly don't know what the best chart is to do this on anymore. But, I remember, it actually did go to all-time high. This is one of the few I thought that did not go to all-time high. But some of them didn't. Like, I know Ripple didn't. A lot of those other ones didn't. I'm just kind of curious here. EOS. EOS did not. So, I can't remember how much it was before this. I don't really care to look. But it didn't make it back. Kind of did. But who even was trading this, much less selling it here, right? So you get the idea. A lot of those old coins will do that. And one common denominator of the ones that haven't worked is, well, what does EOS have done? What has Cardano done lately? What about Neo? Like all those, like BCH. Let me see BCH. Wow, BCH actually went up. I'm curious. I'm pretty sure it was $800 at one point. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So BCH. Oh no, why did I even say 800? I think I'm at 8,000. I remember there was a discrepancy. Like, I think it showed 8,000 on Coinbase, and they said that it wasn't true, and whatever. I don't really care. So the closing top was a little over 3,000. It made it maybe half of that at the top of the run last time, and what's the common denominator about EOS, ADA, BCH, all those? They didn't do anything last run. They were just they made success because they're just a boat in the water and the water level rose. It wasn't because they did anything productive. So that's the thing. So that's one thing to watch out about Solana, AVAX, BNB, all these Atom, all this. And there's a reason why I have all these on here is because some of these are more productive. And so I think there's a good chance Solana's going to succeed. They had um, they had a very active NFT volume past 30 days. I think it was the highest of the year or something like that. There's been a surge of NFTs and activities and transactions. So I'm very interested in Solana in that. AVAX is potentially going to hurt. There's a lot of great projects about AVAX, but time will tell as far as how productive that is. Because honestly, it's just a fork from Ethereum that was meant to be, EVM compatible, and they do a trifecta of chains to kind of offset the throughput or whatever. But a little too complicated. There's a lot of ambitious projects. There's quite a bit actually, and so that's something good to see. I'd say honestly their success is probably 50-50 overall. I'm betting on that they will be successful. BNB of course is doing well. I'm not a big fan of the Binance Smart Chain in my opinion. A lot of the projects are very cheap. And oh man, like looking at this right here, that would be crazy if we went back to $50. But we'll see. I don't know. Why am I even on KuCoin? Let's see. Let's go. Sorry, I just noticed this. Okay, this is not valid, so that's okay. So that would be crazy if we went down to $50. Anyway, so BNB is BNB. Atom, there's a lot of great things going on. I mean, look at this. See a red, green. Something's going on here. There's a lot of activity. They've got a lot of support. Up 130,000 and growing. Probably going to retest this. I'd say Atom is probably one of the dark horses for the next cycle. I think they'll do really well. Excuse me. Matic is going to do really well. They've already got support from big players like Disney, Starbucks, things like that. The chain is rocking pretty well. So that's good. One of my biggest concerns, however, is DOT. I don't know if DOT's going to go very well. A lot of their projects signed on because they got grant money, and it has a lot of potential, but it's kind of eclipsed its potential. It's kind of done its thing, so it's like a lot of those projects tend to die off too. So we'll see. Kind of spitballing some of that, but I mean we're down 87%. But like I said, if this does, there's a chance that it can go up. But 700% versus 670 on Solana, like I would prefer to pick Solana, and a lot of people are. Filecoin's doing okay. I haven't checked as much as I should. Near's doing good. One is doing really good. Algorand is doing well, but I think they may not do as well as last time. There's other ones like Cadena is a hidden gem in my opinion. I don't know how well it's gonna do. Like that chart's really bad. I like what they do there, but I don't know if it's enough traction. Whatever. I guess we'll see. Anyway, that's kind of a scope of some of those things going on. But that's kind of the main thing right now is find strategic positions. The lower that we go, the more opportunity that we're going to get. That's how I see it. So I'm probably going to ladder in. I have been laddering in, but I'm going to keep trying to ladder in. Probably as low as 400 here. Bitcoin. You can see us going to 12,000. Solana, we really need to get out of here, or we're going to go back to the low 20s. And honestly, we might even Might even go here. That's possible. I think $15, $16 might even be possible. I don't want to speculate too much either because um, having a nice red day ends up panicking people, right? So I still want to be kind of logical on that, but that's I can see $15 to $22 being a bottom point. So anyway, that's kind of the review I got for now. I'll try to make an update maybe Sunday or Monday, and I guess just look forward to the next video, and I guess I'll catch you later.